Okay, welcome. This is Dr. Kevin with Synergy Solution Sessions, and we are live with the doctors who have joined us. Dr. George, let's stop this. Let's bring everybody back onto the picture. Bring Dr. George back in here, and we have Dr. Sasha, Dr. Beth, who's using her husband's Zoom, and we have Dr. Vesna joining us. Welcome, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. And I started today's session off with showing an image of the biofield, and I'm going to show everybody back on the audience some different pictures again. And so Dr. George, he started talking before we got online here, and he mentioned the book The Field, and that's by Lynn McTaggart. That's right, Dr. George, correct?
Yes, Lynn McTaggart.
In fact, if somebody dives into the Synergy Solution videos, you'll see me mistakenly use a friend of mine's name, Sharon, who has the same last name as Lynn. But
Oh,
I
okay.
will remember that for the rest of my life, so I'll tell that joke till the day I die, just like Ted tells some of his jokes. And so that being said, The Field by Lynn McTaggart. Tell us about that book. Give us a synopsis about how that applies to what we're doing here and what you're reading in the book. I know, right?
Oh boy,
Yeah.
it's kind of big, kind of deep, but I'm going to boil it way down. Uh, Biophotons comes to mind. Living things emit light. They take in light. Sometimes they're discharging a lot of light as a way to clean themselves out. What really I got from the book is um, a deep, rich explanation of how what we do works. That's it.
Okay. How will we do it works? So you mentioned light. All things emit light. The sun emits light, and there's elements that emit from it that are called photons. I have that correct?
Yep.
Okay. And there's a term called Kirlian photography. I don't know if I could spell that correctly right now. However, Kirlian photography, that is photographs of fruit and vegetables and trees and humans. I've demonstrated some of these images before, I believe, on Synergy Solutions, where this photographic style, this technique, I guess they have a special camera, a special film, but uh, they can take images of this energetic field that emits from all life forms. So I know Lynn in her book goes, well, maybe not that book specifically, but she has these things, experiments called the intention experiment, um, where people's intention has a measurable effect on other people, and even a measurable effect on the people who are giving the intention. So, Dr. George, I was espousing on other work that Lynn McTaggart has that I'm more familiar with. I know a
Okay.
little bit about the field, and we are. I was talking about the Kirlian photography, that we are also life forms that emit this energy, and what else, and Beth, Vesna, Sasha, what information do you know about this, or what have you come across, or George, what would you add to this now that we're talking about a little bit more? All life forms emit light, and if I may add, when we talk about a word in our profession, as doctors of chiropractic, we talk about this word subluxation. Sub,
Mhm.
a state of being, S-U-B, below, less than. Lux, L-U-X, is light. You could break it down as A-T-I-O-N, a state of being, or at the ionic level. Sub, so a state of low light at the ionic level, subluxation, is one of my favorite
Never heard
definitions.
of that.
Yeah, that I give Dr. Larry Goodman credit on that one for me.
That's very
However,
nice.
yeah, that blew me away when I first heard that. So we're talking about the biofield. We emit light. A subluxation is a finding that the doctors here, we locate where there's a blockage of that expression of that light. And here we are. Then when we make the correction, we make the adjustment. Sometimes I call it the attunement. we allow the light to express itself as it normally can. It's like we take something that's blocking, that's creating a shadow out of the field. Like it perhaps iterate on my idea there. So any other thoughts or comments, please chime in. Yeah,
Wow.
it's a mouthful, isn't it? I know. So, I mean, look, it lets people soak that in for a minute. At home, maybe this is the first time you've seen this, you've heard this, you're having these discussions. Let's take a step back for a minute. Let's take a step back. Dr. George had his...
It's the first time that I hear subluxation words broken down like this.
Yeah, same here.
I'm very impressed.
Very.
Beautiful.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. So this is amazing, even for some of the practitioners out there. We're having a philosophical conversation right now, and however, we can back that up with science and research and experiments. And Dr. George brought Dr. Lynn McTaggart into this. Or excuse me, Lynn McTaggart. Dr. George, you had inspiration. What were you about to say?
Oh boy, so many. Well, part of how I understand the field is through Rupert Sheldrake, the morphogenic field. So she touches on this in her book, that we have DNA to create forms, to create an arm, to create a leg made of protein. But the information about why is it an arm instead of a leg does not seem to be in the DNA. So where does that information come from? And when people have they're missing a limb and they still perceive phantom limb pain, like what's the phenomenon that would cause that? It's as though the form has left, but the field is still there. So as chiropractors and as practitioners doing remote work or even in-person work, we can check the form with physical tests, or we can use the occipital drop as a way to communicate with the field and see where the distortions in the field are, because a distorted field will subsequently give rise to a distorted form. So the person goes, wow, my form right here hurts. I'm like, okay, what's the field doing? And then we correct the field, and then the form has to follow that. And if all we did was correct the form, and the field is still out of whack, the problem is going to come back again and again.
It's as if the field isn't. It's as if the field is informing the physical. The field is instructing the physical.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because the field contains information. So
Exactly.
the form is formed by the intelligence in the field.
Words have meaning here.
Yeah. Well, we're back to the triangle of life again.
Yep. Exactly.
Right? This one. It's like, principle number one, a universal intelligence is in all matter, continually giving to it all its properties and actions, thus maintaining it in existence. But how does intelligence express itself in matter? Through energy. So it's not just like a bolt of lightning that started life, it's intelligent lightning. And then there is non-living matter and living matter. And we adapt to stress constructively. Non-living matter cannot adapt to stress constructively, because this is only running on universal intelligence. Each and every living thing has an innate intelligence, which could be said to be our field, which creates or transmutes force to operate matter so that it's in a state of active organization.
Right.
Pen is organized. The body is actively organizing every moment that it's expressing life energy. The purpose of life energy is to take would-be destructive force and cause it to go up instead of down. And to the degree we're subluxated, we're less alive. So, adjustments bring about life, and life is what heals. So we don't heal anything, but we can reconnect the person to their source of life, source of healing. That's I think ultimately what we're doing.
Right. So we are finding we're using the intelligence within the life form, and we're communicating with it, identifying, and we're identifying where to facilitate the release or the correction of the distortion because of the acquisition of too many burdensome or stressful or toxic thoughts, traumas, and toxins. That creates that distortion, interfering with the expression of the light, expression of the purity that it is to be alive, And here we are.
Yep. Stress is energy and information. And this is banging on us all the time.
Mm-hmm.
We either adapt to it or we die from it. So
that's right. So with the adapt or we die.
Yeah. And adjustment's a second chance to adapt to stress that happened in the past.
Beautiful.
I'm warming up.
Beautiful, beautiful. That's a quotable right there. That was, what time is it now? That was the 12:13 mark. All right.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. That's quotable. So thank you, Dr. George. I know that I got a lot of value out of that. If you're at home listening, I know the doctors, we're getting some value. We're all diving deeper and expanding our awareness and expanding our conscious around the topics that we are interested in. And that's just how we continue to deliver great material, great care. And as we as professionals get more knowledgeable in the things that we do, well, then there's a better result in the people that we serve. And when we come together, and this is part of the inspiration that is Synergy Solutions, when we come together, it's as if we can expand beyond what we would do in a one-on-one or even just with a book in front of us, of course. So we get to expand our knowledge because of the power of the group. And this is also the influence that we have in delivering care to you that is measurable and is demonstratable over a distance. And that is what we have here in the remote quantum healing with Synergy Solutions. So let's shift gears. If you're getting value, by the way, type in #value, get a thumbs up, give a like, share it with a friend that you know that you love is interested in energy, thought, vibration, frequency, tone, positive transformation. Maybe we need some help that more than beyond the normal in these times. So this is what this is all about. So moving forward, let's talk about the intention of what we're doing next, which is the actual healing session. We're going to start that in just a moment. So if you're tuning in, take a deep breath in and out, connect with your heart, connect with what you are building, what you're creating. If you're needing stability, if you're needing foundation, if you're needing balance in this craziness out there, well, then focus on that. Your intent is what you need. We will connect with your field. We are going to be connecting with your field, and your intelligence, the wisdom that is within you, is going to inform us of what to do in a perfect concert. It's beautiful. Dr. Green, Dr. Vesna, Dr. Sasha, please comment on your experiences as practitioners and what you've noticed in the adjusting sessions as we do this as a group. If I may, Dr. Beth, I'm going to start with you if you can. What have you noticed is your experience with these sessions?
Yeah,
spot there.
Okay. Yes, I think that I don't know how to put it into words. I think they're very helpful. I can feel the energy collectively, if you will. So it's helpful in that way that I'm not here just alone doing it myself. So I can feel the energy, even though we're on a Zoom call and what have you, as people are adjusting and correcting subluxations, and I can definitely feel that collective energy and a calm and a peaceness in it. Definitely helps healing. Helps me as a practitioner, which in turn helps others, when I'm in contact with them. So.
Thank you. Appreciate your comments there. And Dr. Vesna, tell me about your experience, what you've noticed as a practitioner, what you've noticed as someone who also receives.
Yes, I'll tell you, it surprises me every time I start, and I think with the idea that I'm giving, and then all of a sudden I don't know if I'm receiving more or if I'm doing something. I have a beautiful experience every time of receiving the treatment or whatever it is that I get in contact with when we all get together.
Thank you. And I noticed as well, and I feel safe to say that all of us have a noticeable change in some moment in the session. I know I notice it. It's like there is this shift from giving to receiving, and sometimes for me personally I feel like it switches on and off at different parts. Like all of a sudden I'm in the giving mode and then there's a receiving mode, and I call it getting pinged for my attention to deliver another giving component. And to me, it's this beautiful dance. Thank you. Thank you, Vesna. Dr. Sasha, again, what have you noticed as someone who delivers, and what have you noticed in the effects for yourself?
I'm not sure what I deliver. I do what innate suggests I do. I always feel great after the sessions, I must admit.
Mm-hmm.
Well, thank you for that. And if you could, you mentioned the word innate. If you could, please give a few words on your definition so people can understand what you mean by innate.
Innate. It's part of probably Lynn McTaggart's theory, really, the force that is common underneath, invisible force that is common to all of us, whatever our surface differences might be.
Right, absolutely. And that it completely evokes what Dr. George mentioned about Rupert Sheldrake and this thing called the morphogenic field. This area, and maybe we could refer to it in other scientific terms as that 0 point field. Something that just permeates all life, regardless of how we look at it. It's there, we find it. Dr. George, anything else you'd like to add about your experiences as someone who is doing the correct, delivering the care, the chiropractic, the adjustment, and someone who experiences something in return?
Yes, delivering the force. I'm just kind of focused on putting it out there. But after each call, I just feel, I feel different. I feel, I guess, calm and relaxed. I feel more at ease. The troubles of the world feel like they're more handleable. But really, maybe a day or two later, and over time, since we started doing these group sessions, I feel like my rate of growth and change has accelerated. I feel like I've processed a lot of stress and grown a lot since we started doing this. Just realizing different aspects of myself that maybe weren't there or were sleeping. This is like the high point of my week doing these things. I feel like and I do a lot of other fun stuff, but this really does a lot of good for me.
Yeah.
I wanted to go back to innate just for a second. As Reggie Gold used to say, innate's middle name is intelligence. Innate intelligence of the body, which is an individualized portion of universal intelligence, which kind of, sets and keeps the universe in motion. So it's a portion of the all that is that happens to be in us. There's a lot of different ways to define that, but it's a spark from the sun, one might say. That's
right. And thank you for that. And in the conversations I have in circles that are outside of chiropractic, it's this idea that we are the spark from the source of light, but part of it is the light. It's part of it, we are the light. It's like we are a drop of water in the ocean, but without us, we're not the full ocean. It's right. Expressed in all these different ways in different studies that I've done, both, of course, within and external to chiropractic. And so to me, this continues to give more evidence that if it's found at different locations, it must be close to, or at least nearby, a universal truth here. And this is what I see chiropractic itself as a profession is a journey of discovery of universal truth. And with that being said, let's connect, and we're about to start this session. And what we're needing, what we're all wanting, is yes, individualized, and I know some of the wants and needs are collective. And so whatever that is for you, just holding your heart, holding your mind, holding your thoughts, and take a couple deep breaths in and out. And the doctors are about to connect, and we'll do the work, and then we'll in a few moments we'll debrief, and we'll just note what we found, and then we'll wrap up today's session. And then until next Wednesday, you can join us. I've been saying we're continuing to go live as we are in lockdown. There will be. I've made the decision to sometime in June to end that, and then we're going to go focus on the private membership area, and continue to do the good work in there. But there will be opportunities to expand. That's why we have the free downloadable sessions, so that you can get your experience and connect to that, and continue to evolve in that part of the program. So there's opportunities for you to continue to connect and continue to grow as you would review and watch. So with that being said, let's connect right now. Let's do the work, doctors. Thank you for joining us. The music is already on the live feed side, so let's go ahead and begin. Thank you. Beth, Vesna, Sasha, thumbs up.
Processing.
Thank you. It just popped up. Okay, wonderful. Thank you. That was a big shift for me, and two big shifts from my experience in there. So, Sasha, if you could, I'm going to start with you today. I'm going to ask to give me your experience, what you noticed.
Experience this time. I felt that there was emotion, grief to process, and geopathic stress came through, and nothing to do but kind of to hold the space for it, as if to hold the awareness of that at the moment.
Awareness of the moment. I cut you off, I'm sorry. And geopathic stress, that's interesting. Share a little bit about what that is.
Well, my understanding, it's just kind of like stress of the earth in terms of that can affect us in terms of like undercurrent water or Hartmann lines or Carey's lines. This sort of like somehow that affects our electromagnetic field. That's my understanding.
Yes, there's a number of lines and energy currents that run in the physical matter of the planet Earth, and it does have an impact on the environment and the biology that is contained in that environment. That's for sure, absolutely. So thank you for bringing that up. I noticed at the end of the session, it was like I just felt as if my hands wanted to hold and let go it just was like
Yeah.
all this like just coming out and down. Just it was so heavy, but also relieving. So that was an interesting experience for me. Thank you, Vesna. Thank you. That gives me some context there.
Thank you.
All right. Who's barking over there? All right.
Whose dog is that?
I don't have a dog.
All right, Beth. Well, you're up
I
then.
don't have a dog.
All right, Beth. Go ahead. And what did you notice? What did you find?
Yeah, I found left knee, like lateral left knee, and then I found a heart valve, and that was it. And that just kind of opened and got the heart valve, and then just really almost like an opening energy from the heart as well, like giving and receiving. That's what I got.
I'll tell you what. And maybe you were addressing me directly. I don't know. I had this whole experience in my chest where there was a moment I just felt like laughed. I think I laughed. I had to watch the replay, but I laughed. I felt like I laughed, and how does joy come in? And then after that was my experience with the release at the end. Wow, that was profound. Thank you. Now, with that being said, not everyone is getting a heart adjustment. Perhaps that was for 2 or 3 people. Perhaps that's the heart of a collective. However that's being integrated, your body will use it like a jiu-jitsu move to its advantage.
Where was it?
Okay. That's all right. I'll put you on mute there, Beth. You can chat away if you need be. Kev can get in here. He knows some KST. All right. Oh, Kelly. I'm just making a comment. I saw some comments there. Some people making a... Good to see you, Kelly. George, Dr. George, thank you for... What did you notice? What did you find? What insights do you have today?
Well, today I asked if we could adjust all of us, all the people on the call, and up to and including 90,000 people in my reach. I haven't done that in a while. I thought I'd throw that in there too. So it was a relatively shorter pattern. And one of the first things was left atlas. I blasted that. And then there was coccyx from the right side. So that's getting the whole too. A little bit of pericardium, small intestine. And on the right side of the body, where I've seen these mystery organs, I'll call them, in the past, about like this thing was like huge. A big hollow organ just ready to get taken off, and everything in it gets to go with it.
Okay.
And that's from a form that our field used to be associated with. I'll say it that way. So that was kind of neat.
Well, I think thank you for sharing that. And however anyone wants to observe and consider that material, please keep it in the laboratory at a minimum for a possibility. And I'll just say my personal experience is George is right on. So I get to laugh with that one too, because I get wild all the time. We are amazing energetic beings, and what we are has well, I don't think we've been led to believe the full nature of what it means to be a human being. And through some of these studies that aren't necessarily talked about all over the news like they need to be in positive ways, the discovery and the understanding and the enhancement of the human being is what chiropractic is all about, in my opinion. We have a lot of wonderful conversations and deep studies and wonderful experiences. I mean, frankly, to put it that way. So I want to say thank you to everybody, and thank you all the people that are commenting and joining in. Give a like, give a hearts up, give a thumbs up, give a heart if you're finding some value, if you're getting some help, if you're noticing something. Make a comment. Let people know that there is something here for them that can help them and nourish them and set them free in those different ways. Any final thoughts, Dr. George? Yes.
I have 2 words to add. I
Yes.
just want to change the inflection, because we've talked about being a human being. I like it as a human being.
And let's soak that in. Thank you, Dr. George. Blessings and best regards, everybody. We'll see you next Wednesday for the next session of Synergy Solution Sessions.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.